And even when I was going through my own surgeries, that I was out of the office for almost a month, and I was in radiation treatments every single day for an entire month. My team, if it wasn't for them, again, I don't know if my firm would be where it's at now if I hadn't joined HTM when I did.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
We have Alina Nuñez from the Nuñez Estate Law and Title firm out of Miami. She is a fantastic resource for estate planning, probate, real estate. If you're going to be selling property, if you need to put together a will or a trust or anything related to estate planning and planning out the end of your life, God forbid, but this is something that you really got to plan ahead. She is a fantastic resource, and you're going to enjoy this episode.
I am in how to manage a small law firm as well.
How long have you been doing that type of coaching and the type of group work for growing your business?
I joined How to Manage in July of 2019.
It's been a number of years.
It's been a number of years. But yes, it came at a very much needed and very appropriate time.
And so, I know, and that's interesting you say that, because there's a lot of law firms, a lot of lawyers, they're trying to grow their law firm. Maybe they're solo, maybe they have a number of different people, but they're not using the tools that are out there to help them grow. How did you find that a group like How to Grow a Small Law Firm helped your firm?
So, not to get a little sappy or emotional. So I joined, I had gone on my own, we were talking earlier, in 2014.
Yep.
And obviously, as going on your own, at least with me, it petrified me, right? It was like, I know I could do it, but it was the whole, okay, now I have this, that, I have, going on my own, no stable salary, whatnot. But I always knew that I wanted to have my own practice one day. So 2014, took the plunge, did it. I shared office space with 2 other colleagues of mine. So one of my colleagues, he actually had started in How to Manage. And so we're seeing him do these meetings and flying around town and blah, blah. So we learned about it. And then the other attorney that we shared space, she joined, and I saw how they started to grow. So I was like, I'm not going to be left here on the sideline. It's like one of your friends jumps in the pool, then the other one jumps, and you're like, okay, well, I guess it's my turn to jump. So I did. And that was July of 2019. My mother got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in August of 19, and she battled it for about 3.5 years. So thanks to being in a program, it kept me focused on my firm when otherwise I would not have. I was just having this conversation with someone, actually with Sama the other day, and I was saying, I don't know if my firm would be where it's at now if I hadn't joined HTM when I did. Because it kept me, like I said, focused. It kept me on track when my world was upside down. So then my mom passed April of 2023, and 45 days later, I got diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh, man.
So again, I was with the support of having my coaches, the people, what we call it in the bubble, like the other people in the group supporting it, and whatever I needed, I was able to get through that, continue to focus on my firm, continue to grow while through treatment. And every year I've been in HTM, I have grown my firm. Granted, the first few years, the growth wasn't like a huge amount. But once I finished my treatment at the end of 2023, in these last 2 years that I've been like, okay, that's it. Now I'm really focusing on my business. I have been able to grow exponentially, and it kept me grounded when I would have probably been in a fetal position on the floor, not knowing what to do because of everything going on in my personal life. And it probably would have destroyed my business if I didn't have people there guiding me and keeping me on track.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal story. And I think it's too often that there's a lot of lawyers that are out there that are trying to grow their business, but they're wearing every single hat. They're the lawyer, they're the paralegal.
Yes.
They don't want to add on staff. They don't want to reach out to
Biggest mistake.
They don't want to reach out to a coach to get help. Imagine if that person had those very, I'm not gonna say bumps in the road, but like some of the most difficult times of a person's life, losing a loved one, being diagnosed, like having a health issue. Like how would a person like handle that if they are the ones that are doing everything in their firm. It's impossible.
And to a sense, I mean, I had staff, but I still wore a lot of those hats. I had, a paralegal, I had a legal assistant, but a lot of the work still landed on me. And because again, I had that fear of hiring and bringing on people. It's like, oh, maybe I don't have enough money. How can I afford this? How can I afford that? And you just have to do it. You can't. I was my worst enemy and my worst bottleneck with the growth of my business. And I equate being in one of those coaching programs as I can have a gym membership, right? I can go to any gym, get a gym membership. Chances are I will probably never use it. Now, if I have a personal trainer and I'm paying a personal trainer, guess what? That personal trainer is calling me going, where are you? You need to show up. We have leg day today or whatever it is. And I'm going to go because I know I have someone there waiting on me that's going to hold me accountable. And that is exactly what that program did. It held me accountable while giving me support through those hardest times. So I cannot even imagine if I didn't have something like that. I can't imagine, what would have happened to me or my firm. I probably would have closed up shop, gotten a job somewhere else, taken the more easy, comfortable route instead of pushing through and knowing that I came out on the other end through it and, exceeding the goals that I've set for myself.
Has through let's say going back to 2019, 2018, before you joined the How to Grow the Small Law Firm, did you have someone in your office that was like a CFO or a COO or someone that was helping manage the administrative side of things, or were you pretty much doing it all yourself?
It was me 100%. I had no business coaches. I was just basically, since I started working at law firms at a very young age, I started at 18, I was just taking my experiences from all the law firms that I've ever worked at over my years and going, okay, I like the way this attorney did this. I did not like the way this attorney did that. And kind of putting on my own Frankenstein version of what I wanted my firm to be, coming down to how the employees are to be treated, the benefits, and everything, and just kind of winging it based off of what I knew. And from my experiences of places I had worked at.
Tell me the night and day difference, because it sounds like it. But from once you brought on, whether it was a fractional CFO or a fractional COO, because I know for me it has been an absolute game changer as far as growing the business, as far as me being less stressed. What was it like for you?
Well, one example is me sitting here with you today. If I was still at the office doing everything, I would not have the time to be able to come and sit here and do things like this, be able to go out and meet other people, referral sources. So the CEO and through that coaching program, like I said, it definitely helped me implement policies and procedures, helped me put together roadmaps for, different positions and the way things operate in my firms. And do you have a business plan? I hadn't ever done a business plan. I'm like, I think I did one when I was in college because I was a business major, but no. And just putting those things, really treating the law firm not like a law firm, but a business, which is something I think us attorneys struggle with, and and not only that, but a lot of times we identify the law firm as us. It's our identity. It's our name. Yeah. And you need to separate it. It's a business. That business has to work for you. You're not a slave to that business. And that's what I've really, tried to adopt. And that's the coaching. So you do treat it like a business. And I'd say probably one of the best decisions, two of the best decisions I've made is when I hired my first associate. Yeah. To take some of that work off my shoulders. And it's, a bit of control freak. You don't want to let it go. And you're like, are they going to do it as well as I am? But yes, you have to. You cannot grow if you do not bring on other employees and grow the business. It's impossible for you to do it all. So that was definitely a game changer. That was in about 2022. And then in 2024, I actually brought on my husband as my CFO. He was the CFO and controller for a large company here. And he just wanted something different. And it didn't start off with him joining us. It started off more, well, come to the office, help me out while you look for another job. And finally, after I think 2 months, I said, no, you're not going anywhere. you're not. I need you. I can't.
Yeah.
He took off so much off my plate. And that's when I really was able to kind of, and not only that, but it's someone else looking at the numbers. I'm the worst at billing. Oh my God, I'm the worst at billing clients, collecting, and things like that. Like those are things that, I hated doing. And he is on it. And it's like, that has really made a huge impact and a huge change.
So and again, just having a team of people and being able to get through the bumps in the road. Like I had a very, very, very similar experience this past summer. My father got very badly ill. And we had, fortunately, like over time, I never was part of the how to grow the small law firm. I joined a group called Atticus at one point.
Okay.
And I've used the coaching there and I've used the forms and stuff. And through that, eventually I brought on an amazing like COO. And, but having that was able to like give the time, like you said, to be able to leave. Like I had to be away for a month at a time, you know what I mean? Like, and not be present, but having the systems in place and having a team that's able to continue operating at the highest level because they know what our standards are. They know what our principles are. They know our values. Yeah. They know everything from the top to the bottom, from cutting checks, printing checks, meeting with clients, signing up cases. You need that infrastructure in place to grow, I think. And then also to be able to not crumble and fall apart, right?
Exactly.
Emotionally and just business-wise, you need it, No,
I agree wholeheartedly. If it wasn't, with my mom getting her treatment, I was every week with her at chemo, at her doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
My brother lives, it's just he and I, and he lives in Marco Island. And when he couldn't, I would have to fill it. My mom would be with me on the weekends at the house. It was, a full-time caretaker job. Yeah. And to be able to step away from the firm and be able to spend 2-3 hours at whatever appointments with my mom and be there, really, and know and have that peace of mind knowing that if a new client file comes in, we have the procedures in place. Everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing. It goes to this person, that person. This is the next step, and so forth. And even when I was going through my own surgeries, that I was out of the office for almost a month, and I was in radiation treatments every single day for an entire month. My team, if it wasn't for them, again, that's why I'm very big, and I do not do this on my own. And any attorney out there that thinks, no, you cannot do this on your own. You definitely need to have a good, strong base and have your policies, your procedures, everything in order so that if you do have this type of an emergency, you can step out and the ship keeps running and it keeps moving forward and things know what to happen. And I was on an as-need emergency basis,
Yeah, there's a book. I think it's the E-Myth Revisited. Have you read that? I know
I've
that
heard of it. I have not read it.
It's super short. It's actually it's a weekend read. But I don't know. Fortunately, I think when I left and opened up my own law firm, I think I shot out an email on some kind of a group. I think there's a great group called Maximum Lawyer that's on Facebook. And it was like, hey, what are the top 3 books or 5 books? And someone threw that out there, and I hate reading, so it happened to be probably the shortest book out of all the ones that everyone gave. But it was very big. The bottom line of it was you can't wear all the hats.
Correct.
There's got to be the entrepreneur, there has to be a manager, and there has to be a technician. And each role there could be a number of people within those roles, but you have to really figure out what it is that you can bring the most value to your company doing, and then find other people to do other stuff because you shouldn't be doing it all.
Exactly.
Because you're going to burn out.
Exactly.
And then things like bumps in the road will happen.